Welcome to The Business Behind Your Business, the podcast where we delve into the financial strategies and insights that drive success for small and medium-sized business owners. I'm your host, Paul Sweeney, and in each episode we bring you expert guests who share practical advice, real-world experiences, and actionable tips to empower you on your business journey. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or just starting out, get ready to uncover the secrets to success and gain valuable insights into the business behind your business. Welcome back to the Business Behind Your Business podcast. I'm your host, Paul Sweeney, and I want to revisit a conversation many conversations I've had with business owners of late, and that is around how they actually grow their business. One of the questions I ask people when I'm first meeting with them to work with them and work with them in improving the way they operate their business, improving the profitability of their business, is why did they start their business? The common answers I get from them are, and wanted to start my business, so I had time to have holidays, time to spend with family, just not working as many hours, but also more control over the business. And when we look at what the business looks like now, it's a very different picture. It's a very different picture because they don't have time. They're so caught up in the business that everything is dependent upon them being there. They haven't had a holiday for 4 or 5 years or since they started the business. And that's a problem because it really, why did you start your business? You wanted a lifestyle, you wanted that freedom, but your business is not getting you that freedom. Even when you do switch off, you're constantly thinking about it, constantly responding to requests, emails. And the problem with that is what we call the hub and spoke. And the hub and spoke is, it's an issue that we see where every decision flows through the business owner. Every decision about a sale, every customer conversation, every decision about where to buy from, every decision about who is going to be employed, every decision about what happens in the business flows through them. And it's a problem. It's a very big problem for a lot of business owners. And we're usually stuck in that situation of having that, what we call the hub and spoke, because often when we start our business, we are the only person. We are the salesperson. We are the production manager. We are the production staff. We do everything when we first start. And a lot of the time it's because we don't take the time to plan how we're going to grow our business. We don't take the time to plan how we're going to scale our business and grow. And we're stuck in this model because of necessity, because we may not have the funding to pay for other tools or advantages. But there are plenty of tools around, and it's a bit of a danger to keep sticking in there. It's a danger for us to do that because, if we persist with that model, we're going to end up in this situation of being burnt out. We're going to be caught in this situation of being burnt out continually, not enjoying our business and really resenting the fact that we are actually in business. And that's not a great position to be in. So what we want to do is look at how do we move that away? How do we move that away? And look, if you're thinking about this and you're wondering, does that actually apply to me? I've got staff, I've got my team, and I've got people working for me, but what are some of the symptoms that I'm actually still holding on to this model where everything flows through me? I'm still holding on to this hub and spoke model. So some of the things are that you are the only person that can make decisions. You are the only person that can pay for things. You are the only person that can sign off on agreements. You have not delegated any authority. Maybe you don't even have anybody working for you. That's a problem as well. So that's an issue where you are the only person that makes decisions. You are the only person that makes purchasing decisions or even sales decisions. So we need to move away from that. When everything is coming to you, every email is coming to you, it does make it hard to move away from that situation. So we need to come down to a different situation. We need to actually look at, what do we do here? And, we've got this situation that we're often trapped in. It's a trap. We're looking at this system from the Value Builder system and this infographic. If you're listening to the audio version of the podcast, have a look. We'll put the link to this in the show notes, and you can actually see the diagram I'm talking about. But we're caught in this trap of you as a business owner. You do all the selling, you do all the interfaces with the customer, you do all the production, you do all the delivery, you do everything, and it's a trap that we want to avoid. So we want to get back to that situation where doesn't rely on us to be there the full time. We've actually got a team around us, and we've got resources that are actually doing the work. And we've got to move away from the situation where, you can't take time off, because if we take time off, the business doesn't happen, nothing happens. And even if we do take time off, we're still constantly thinking about what's going on. Who do I need to contact? You're still checking your emails to see what customers are needing or what crisis needs to be dealt with. And so you're not actually there participating in your holiday with your family. You're not having that disconnect from your business. You're not actually refreshing yourself. And that's a dangerous situation to be in. So we want to avoid that. A couple of the other tips that indicate that you are stuck in this model is, if you went through your customer list, do you know everyone by name? Do you know every customer by their name? And that used to be like a badge of honor, that if, as the business owner, you knew every customer, you knew everything about them. The problem is, the rest of your team don't know everything about them, and that customer keeps coming back to you. They won't deal with the rest of your team. They won't deal with anybody else. They only want to deal with you. And you've created this, again, coming back to it, you've created a trap where you are the constant person having to deliver. You're a constant person that every customer wants to talk to, every supplier wants to talk to, every team member comes back to you because they can't make a decision themselves. So we want to avoid that situation where you have an intimate knowledge of every customer. What you really want is to have a situation where you don't actually know most of your customers. Your sales team do, or your systems create the transaction, create the engagement with your customer. That is a much better system, because then you can walk away. The business is not dependent on you being there the whole time. Emails is a big trap. Do you need to see every email? Is every email coming to you? Are you being copied in on every email so that you are aware of what's going on in every aspect of your business? Well, if you are, then it tends to mean that you don't have a couple of these things in place. You don't have trust in your team. You're micromanaging them too much. Okay, and we need to go back and revisit the situation where Garrett Delph was talking about scaling with structure and how we avoid micromanaging our staff. Create some trust there. Create some trust in our staff. Create better processes where you have a lot of more automated systems. So engage in AI, engage in some of the software tools are around to actually automate that transactional process. Step back from your business and actually design how it should operate. But design your business, redesign your business as if you're not part of the process. Redesign your business as if you are the problem, not the solution. And how do we remove you from that business? One of the tips that we had from one of the business owners I've had a discussion with was that they actually designed their business. And one of the first things they did was they actually put their org chart out there, and they actually had a plan for how they were going to remove themselves from every role in their business. And that's a great way to look at it. So removing yourself from the need to be involved in every line of communication, every decision. Have a plan to do that. And generally what we find is if you're stuck in this trap, if you're stuck in the trap of being the primary person, it actually really limits your ability to grow. It limits your ability to grow the value of your business. It limits the ability to grow the profitability. And what we tend to see is that if a business has flatline revenue from year to year, it's a good indication that the business is not going to grow because the owner is holding it back. So we want to avoid that situation. So there are a few things that we can do. And how do you know where to start? How do you know the first things that you should do? Look, it's very easy to get overwhelmed by this and say, right, I don't know where to start. So we've got some help for you here. So what we've got to do is provide for you in the link to the show notes. There's going to be a link to what we call the Value Builders Quiz. Okay. What we're going to do is provide access to you so you can get your own value builder score. Now, why are we talking about value building? So if you're creating a business that's going to have value, the value is to the end purchaser, as somebody that would look to buy your business. And that value is generally, a result of things like profitability, scalability, independence of the owner. So if you have a business where you are the central person involved in that business, you're really limiting not just the value of the business or your capacity to sell, but you're actually limiting the profitability as well. And that's got a negative impact on on not just your personal well-being, but also the growth of your business. So you're holding yourself back. So we're going to put a link in the show notes to how you can get access to that report. So it'll only take you about 5 minutes to complete. And at the end of that, you'll get your own tailored report showing you what your score is, what your business score is, and also highlighting some of the areas that you can really improve and work on in your business. And we think that that's really helpful. So we want to make that available to you. So the link will be in the show notes and also on the businessbehindyourbusiness.com website. So please check that out. But also please go back and check out past episodes where we've actually looked at how we can put in place things like systemizing our business so that we can grow, so that it can be more profitable. What are some of the tools that you should be taking advantage of as a business owner? What are some of the tools that you should be accessing to help you leverage the technology available to help you grow and scale your business and reduce the reliance on you? So have a look at those. And then the other option, of course, is, look at, well, does the job need to be done by you? Okay. Some people won't go and hire additional resources because of the costs, but there are alternatives. And we've looked at this episode with Mirwan talking about how we can use virtual assistants and the processes, the different ways that we can engage virtual assistants to do different aspects of our business and just relieve some of that necessity for us to be involved in every stage of the business. So a couple of things there. We want you to actually take a step back from your business and redesign your business and look at, well, how can I remove myself from the day-to-day operations of the business? How can I increase the ability of my business to grow by reducing the reliance on me? And so we're going to provide some free tools to help you do that. Please take advantage of them and also share those with another business owner that would benefit from those, because at the end of the day, when we create businesses that are strong, thriving, prosperous, everybody benefits. And that's the goal. So encourage you to have a look back at your business, step away from it and actually say, well, how can I improve the profitability of my business by reducing its reliance on me? So looking forward to sharing some of the conversations we've got coming up. They're absolutely fabulous. Really delighted to share those with you and encourage you to make sure, if you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform so that you don't miss out on any of these episodes when you're coming up, because there's some absolute treats in store for you. That's a wrap for this episode of The Business Behind Your Business. We hope you found today's discussion insightful and valuable for your business journey. Before we go, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. Share it with fellow business owners who could benefit, and send in your burning questions because we love hearing from you. Missed any of our previous episodes or looking for additional resources to help grow your business? Head over to our website at thebusinessbehindyourbusiness.com. There you'll find our full archive of past episodes along with show notes, transcripts, and links to valuable resources mentioned in each episode. Your journey to business success continues at thebusinessbehindyourbusiness.com. Until next time, stay inspired, stay informed, and keep building the business of your dreams.